What is the main campaign plank of the battle for 2024? Yesterday, the Prime Minister who's been leading the charge for the government claimed he will never do Hindu-Muslim politics. But today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi once again raised the issue of Hindu-Muslims. Remember, from Mangal Sutra to mutton to Ghuspetia, there has been an attempt being made to somehow or the other have dog whistles against minorities. On the other hand, the opposition is being accused of snatching away OBC quotas to accommodate Muslims, a claim that the Prime Minister once again made today on the campaign trail in Jharkhand. The question is, who is then playing Hindu-Muslim politics? Is it the government or is it the opposition? Listen in first to what the Prime Minister said and how Priyanka Gandhi Vadra responded to him.
मुझे याद है उस समय मैं सीएम था और जब ये बात कांग्रेस ने उठाई थी तो मैंने उसका मुख्यमंत्री रहते हुए पुरजोर विरोध किया था। कांग्रेस उस समय चाहती थी कि देश के सारे बजट का 15% सिर्फ मुसलमानों पर खर्च हो। तब भाजपा के जबरदस्त विरोध के बाद ये कामयाब नहीं हो पाए थे। लेकिन कांग्रेस कह रही है कि एससी, एसटी, ओबीसी और गरीबों का आरक्षण छीनकर मुसलमानों को दे देगी। कांग्रेस आपकी संपत्ति को भी जब्त करके उसका हिस्सा अपने वोट बैंक को देने की तैयारी में है। लेकिन कांग्रेस और इंडी अगाड़ी वाले कान खोल करके सुन ले, मोदी धर्म के आधार पर न बजट बांटने देगा और न ही धर्म के आधार पर आरक्षण देगा।
ये सिर्फ झूठ फैलाते हैं। आज तो ये हद हो गई है कि कल प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बोला कि मेरे पहले के सारे बयान गलत थे। वो 10 सालों से राजनीति कर रहे हैं धर्म के आधार पर। हर चुनाव को हिंदू मुसलमान बनाते हैं कि नहीं बनाते हैं? बनाते हैं। कल ये कहते हैं कि मैंने कभी ऐसा नहीं किया, कि अगर मैं ऐसा करता हूं तो मैं इस पद को रखने के मैं लायक ही नहीं हूं। तो 10 सालों से क्या कर रहे थे आप? मतलब या तो जो आप पहले कह रहे थे वो झूठ है, या जो आप अभी कह रहे हैं वो झूठ है, क्योंकि पूरा देश देख रहा है। तो ये झूठ फैलाने के अलावा ये कुछ नहीं करते।
Now that's the battle over Hindu-Muslim politics. The Congress questioning whether the Prime Minister can really claim that he is not playing Hindu-Muslim politics. But what of the Congress party itself? Today the Congress party added a new poll promise, claiming that they would give 10 kilograms free food grains to the poor households every month if the India bloc is voted to power on June 4th. This is a direct challenge or a direct guarantee that the Congress is giving to the Prime Minister's scheme of 5 kilograms food grains per person per month to 80 crore beneficiaries under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana scheme. So, is ration politics, particularly for the poor, the critical issue of 2024? Take a look.
Ration is the buzzword in the Hindi heartland this Lok Sabha election. The opposition India Alliance on Wednesday announced it will give 10 kilos of food grain free to the poor if it comes to power. This is 5 kilos more than what the Narendra Modi government is already giving to 80 crore people across the country.
फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट तो हमने लाया, तुमने तो कुछ भी नहीं किया, लेकिन मैं इतने 80 करोड़ लोगों को खाना, आप 5 किलो दे रहे हैं ना, हम गठबंधन की सरकार अगर आएगी हम 10 केजी देंगे.
The top-up offer from the opposition, which comes after 4 phases of voting, is evidently a reaction to the popularity of Modi government's free ration scheme among women voters.
ये मोदी है जिसने गारंटी दी और आज 80 करोड़ देशवासियों को मुफ्त में राशन पहुंच रहा है.
The 5 kg ration scheme was introduced by the Modi government during the COVID pandemic to help poor households weather the lockdown. Under the scheme, free food grain was distributed in addition to what Food Security Act beneficiaries were already entitled to. In December 2022, the government merged all the schemes to give 5 kilos of food grain per person per month to nearly 80 crore beneficiaries. Last year, during elections in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, Prime Minister Modi announced the scheme would continue for the next 5 years. The welfare scheme, according to many poll pundits, has carved out a loyal Labharthi vote bank for Prime Minister Modi across North India.
Is the woman voter going to be the key in this election?
It is very simple. Whoever takes care of me, I will go with them.
Okay. What Pradeep Gupta is saying is effectively suggesting that when you say ration is an issue, many will say it's the woman who's the beneficiary of livelihood issues. Pradeep Gupta is coming as close, I would say, to admitting that that is Mr. Modi's trump card.
Many state governments are already offering additional food grain to ration card holders. Free ration, political parties believe, is the easiest way to woo the women voters. Bureau Report, India Today.
So what really then is working in Mission 2024? Is it the Hindu-Muslim rhetoric or is it ration politics? Has the Congress's ration offer come a little too late? Are the BJP Congress confused or clear about the narratives they are putting forward to the voters? Earlier I spoke to Dr. Ritika Khera. She's a professor of economics at IIT. She's worked on food security. We'll speak to her on the show later. Sanjay Kumar is co-director Lokniti, CSTS. He'll tell us whether it's politically what works. Salman Sos, Congress's spokesperson, and Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, BJP. To you, first Salman Sos, because the Congress today, midway through this election, has suddenly announced we will give 10 kgs of food grain. Earlier, your own leaders were questioning whether Narendra Modi's food security scheme was only a way to try and entice the voters. But you're doing the same. You're offering now 10 kgs of rice. Is ration the issue, or is it Hindu-Muslim politics, which is the real issue according to you, which is deciding voter preferences?
Well, for the Prime Minister and the BJP, clearly the Hindu-Muslim issue is the issue of this election, and that is what they've made this election out to be. Frankly, I was surprised when the Prime Minister made, essentially he made hate speeches, and he's still making hate speeches. So are BJP leaders. I was surprised because I thought they would talk about their record in office because they said that we've done so much for the country. Clearly,
no, but why did you suddenly then decide today to give 10 kg rice? You obviously think that you need that the Prime Minister's 5 kg rice scheme is working, so you're giving now 10 kg rice.
First of all, Rajdeep.
Food grain, rather.
This you call it Modi scheme. You have to remember that the Congress party, the UPA government brought in the National Food Security Act. That is the basis for food security in India. And what the Prime Minister gave is basically because the policies of the BJP have destroyed the economy for poor, low-income and middle-income families in India. That is why we're facing this distressing situation. And to remedy that, what the Congress party has come up with is basically, if you look at our manifesto, and by the way, thanks to Prime Minister Modi and the BJP, our manifesto has now been downloaded tens of millions of times.
No, but why suddenly have you decided? I will still repeat, 10 kgs of rice. Suddenly in the middle of the campaign, you're saying that we will give 10 kgs of rice, of food grain. Are you realizing that ration is working?
No, listen, Rajdeep. First of all, for women, we will announce the Mahalakshmi scheme that is going to deliver 1 lakh rupees to women in poor families. We have the Yuva, the Pehli Naukri Pakki for young people. For young people, apprenticeship 1 lakh rupees per year. That is already, these are the kinds of things we're doing for the people already. However, this particular scheme, we know now that what the Prime Minister's policies have done to the country is terrible damage. And that is why we need to strengthen people even more than, so it is not only affirming that we are going to continue the scheme, but actually strengthening this, giving more, because that is because people
But
need
you could have
more.
done it at the start of the campaign. Now you're playing catch up.
No, we're not playing catch up. By the way, we are not playing catch up. The BJP is basically looking at the writing. The writing is on the wall, Rajdeep. Rajdeep, let me just remind you, maybe a month and a half or 2 months back, I was in a show with you, and nobody was giving the India Alliance any chance in this election. Rajdeep, today, 4 phases later, hand on my heart, and I know you know this, Rajdeep. I know that Sanjay ji knows this. This election has changed. This election has turned. And what we are seeing is that we've taken the fight to the BJP. They have nothing to offer to the people of this country. Nothing except Hindu-Muslim. We are doing more and more, and we are offering more because that is what the people of the country need and deserve.
Okay.
This is their right.
I've heard you patiently, as has Sanju Verma for once heard without intervening, and that I appreciate that. But Sanju Verma ji, it's interesting. The BJP says that we are giving this 5 kg ration to the poor. The first part is actually, Salman Soos is right. The Food Security Act was brought in by the UPA. It's not as if the Prime Minister Narendra Modi brought in 5 kg for the poor. That was mandated legislatively under the Food Security Act. A. B. The Prime Minister is talking on his rallies about Hindu-Muslim, but says, "Main Hindu-Muslim ki rajniti nahi karta." Now you tell me, what should the voters see the Prime Minister's outreach as? Welfarist or Hindu-Muslim? He goes to Jharkhand and repeats Hindu-Muslim politics, but otherwise in interviews will say, "I don't do Hindu-Muslim, I do welfarism." Which is their real agenda, ma'am?
Rajdeep, first and foremost, thank you for paying me a left-handed compliment. Sanju Verma only heckles if she is heckled. आप मुझसे जैसा व्यवहार करोगे, आपको आईना दिखाया जाएगा. I will show you the mirror. Thank you. But now coming to the more important point, I'll start off with this famous movie, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. And the role of Benjamin Button was played by Brad Pitt. And there's a famous line in that movie which says, "Our lives are defined by opportunities, even those that we miss. And the Congress never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity." That is what I would like to tell the Congress. And I'll tell you why, Rajdeep. It will take me 30 seconds. Fine, the Food Security Act was, the brainchild of the erstwhile Congress regime. So far, so good. But I always say, it's one thing to build flaky castles in the air. It's one thing to have a grandiose vision. But it's another thing to marry a grand vision with seamless execution. And the reason why Prime Minister Narendra Modi will go down in history textbooks is not for his welfarism alone, not for his structural reforms alone, but for the fact, besides of course his unstoppable popularity, is the fact that this is one leader. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the only leader in post-independent India who has married grand vision with seamless execution. And I'll tell you why, like I said in 30 seconds. Do you know something? That the Congress launched the e-governance policy in 2006. It remained a non-starter. Today, Digital India is a huge success with 19 lakh crore worth of transactions via UPI in every single month, which means 6% of India's GDP is traded every single month via UPI. The Congress launched Jan Aushadhi scheme in 2008. It was a non-starter. Today we have more than 10,000 vibrant Jan Aushadhi Kendras where medicines are sold at a discount of anywhere between 50% to 95%. Then let me remind you that the first housing scheme was Indira Gandhi Awas Yojana in her memory in 1985, non-starter. Then you had the Rajiv Gandhi Awas Yojana in his memory in 2007, a non-starter. Today, Pradhan Mantri Modi's Awas Yojana, more than 4 crore houses have been built. I was surprised to know that
Ma'am,
the
your
DBT
30,
which was
your
announced-
30 seconds is up, but what you're not answering,
give me
for
10
example,
seconds
on
more.
food
Give me 10
security,
seconds more.
ma'am, on food security, it was in COVID times that it was made free. Until then, the scheme had already been initiated during the UPA time. Let's be fair. It's not as if everything in
Can I
India
finish?
started in 2014. We must be fair. When it comes to food
I'm being
security,
fair.
let's be fair to the UPA government also.
Let me be fair. Can I finish in 10 seconds, my friend Rajdeep?
Yes, please.
Or should I say, our seasoned anchor Rajdeep.
Thank
and
you.
I'm not being sarcastic. Thank you.
Whatever you all say.
No. We all love
I am
being on your
asking
show.
you a
no
question, ma'am. Answer it.
I'm answering. Arey bhai sahab, शांत हो जाइए. I'm answering. You said let's give credit to the UPA. Let's give credit to Sonia Gandhi. Let's give credit to Manmohan Singh. Food security was their brainchild. GST was their brainchild. E-governance policy was their brainchild. Jan Aushadhi Kendra was their brainchild. Nirmal Abhiyan, which we call now Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, was their brainchild. मुझे ये बताइए, everything was your brainchild, but nothing happened. Today, more than 52 crore Jan Dhan bank accounts have opened under Narendra Modi's aegis in the last 10 years. You were envisioning free health insurance. Nothing happened. Today, 33 crore Ayushman cards have been given in the last 10 years thanks to Narendra Modi. Today, more than 4 crore houses have been given to the poor under PM Awas Yojana thanks to Narendra Modi. Today, more than 10 crore women have got the benefits of Ujjwala Yojana thanks to Narendra Modi. Today, more than 12 crore toilets have been built under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan thanks to Narendra Modi. You had a grand vision, but you did not have the honesty
Can I
of commitment
ask you,
to
ma'am,
implement it.
ma'am, you're on a roll, but in 30 seconds, actually, this time, can I ask you where I started off? If you have this grand vision, if you are claiming that unlike the UPA years, you executed this scheme, why does the Prime Minister then need to go to rallies and say, look, actually what was going to happen is if the Congress comes to power, 15% of the resources will be given to Muslims. Why then do you need to play the Hindu-Muslim narrative? If you have done so much which has worked on the ground, then then your election should be fought on that. Why do you need to play Hindu-Muslim politics and say that, create this fear कि मुसलमान को 15% मिल जाएगा, when that is not even proven? You're spreading lies and fear.
Rajdeep, you use strong language. Now if Sanju Verma uses strong language, either my mic will be muted or Rajdeep will say, no, Miss Verma.
So what is the strong language? What is the strong language
is that you are saying that we are peddling fear, we are peddling hate.
Yes.
Can I respond, Rajdeep?
Please do.
Thank you.
30 seconds.
Yes. 30 seconds is more than enough. Ahead of Karnataka elections, Rahul Gandhi's favorite line, Lingayats versus Vokaligas. Ahead of Uttar Pradesh assembly elections, Jatav versus non-Jatav, Yadav versus non-Yadav. Ahead of Maharashtra elections, assembly elections in 2019 and Lok Sabha elections, Rahul Gandhi's pet theme, Maratha versus non-Maratha. In Haryana, Rahul Gandhi's favorite line, Jat versus non-Jat.
No, forget Rahul Gandhi. I'm asking you about your party. Forget Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, Salman Soz will have to answer. I'm asking you, if you have done so much on the ground, what is the need to say, to spread the fear that if the Congress comes to power, 15% resources will go to Muslims? Where is this coming from?
Can I ask you one thing? Now, please listen carefully. Now, I don't want to be heckled because you have this bad habit
No,
of
I'm
breaking
asking
my
you a
chain of
question.
thought.
You will not intimidate me anymore, ma'am. I'm asking you a question. Please
intimidating
respond
you.
politely. Otherwise, I'll move on.
भाई साहब मेरी कहां औकात कि मैं राजदीप सरदेसाई with 35 years of journalism उनको मैं intimidate करूं? I just want to ask you one thing, Rajdeep, and this is not being sarcastic. Please answer honestly, because my response to you will be based on your response to me.
Right.
On the one side is Rahul Gandhi and on the other side is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And Rahul Gandhi says, Rajdeep, I offer you free bijli, free ration, free water connection, free housing, free sanitation, सब कुछ free दूंगा, आप मुझे वोट कीजिए. दूसरी तरफ आपको नरेंद्र मोदी भी वही प्रॉमिस देते हैं. And on the one hand, you have Rahul Gandhi who makes promises but does not deliver. On the other hand, you have Narendra Modi who makes promises and also delivers.
Okay, but you're not answering the Hindu-Muslim question, so I'm going to stop it there. Okay, producer, I've heard you, ma'am. Now there are two other panelists. Ritika Khera, you are an expert on food security. You're hearing these politicians. How do you see at election time politicians competing at the moment to promise free ration to people? BJP is giving 5 kilos already. under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. Congress now says we'll up it to 10. Is this a good sign? Is it a sign that people realize that at the bottom of the pyramid, people are hurting, therefore they need food? Or is it a sign of how to lure voters by saying free ration de do?
So to be honest, I'm very surprised to hear about this additional promise of 5 kilos from Mr. Kharge. I'm foxed, especially because the Congress manifesto is in any case much stronger than BJP's on issues of social policy, including the issue of food security. There are many noteworthy promises. So I can give you just two very quick examples. We were not very happy with the Food Security Act that the UPA government brought in 2013 because they did not provide for dal and oil in the Food Security Act, whereas now in their manifesto they've promised dal and oil. And another big gap in that Food Security Act was the lack of community kitchens like Amma's canteens in Tamil Nadu and Indira canteens in Karnataka now. And that has been included in the 2024 manifesto. So just those two things alone, I think, are very noteworthy manifesto promises. And in fact, I'm not a big fan of putting more resources into providing more food grain alone. It made a lot of sense during the COVID lockdown when there was very widespread distress. But right now, I feel the push should be towards more nutritious foods. And therefore, I think the promise of dal and oil is quite important.
Sanjay Kumar, you know, the fact is all of this comes at election time. Some call it freebies. The Prime Minister says it's welfareist. Now the Congress also says this is for the welfare of people. Do you believe that voters are being swayed by it? Is this from your studies? Have you all found out that are voters swayed more by the party that promises free ration, or are they swayed by Hindu-Muslim politics? Isko reservation milega, usko reservation milega, Hindu khatre mein hai. Is that the politics that works, or does the politics work of providing effective welfare measures?
Rajdeep, the two issues actually is being addressed to two different sections of people. When we talk about the free ration, we do get a sense from the studies which we have done that it has made a huge impact on how the poor and the lower class voters have voted during in the recent past. We see BJP making huge inroads among the poor voters. If we look at the voters in terms of different classes of voters, if we look at how poor sections of voters voted for BJP in 2014 and 2019, and the pre-poll surveys which we did just before the election, it has made a huge impact. It has made BJP has been able to make huge inroads among the poor sections of the society. So that the free ration scheme is appealing to one section of the people. At the same time, what you mentioned, Hindu, Muslim all the time, that is also appealing to a different sections of the people. It has little appeal among the poor sections of the people. But when you talk about the urban middle class, the educated urban middle class, this is a very appealing factor for them. So it's a twin issue which appeals to two different sections of voters.
So you're saying there's a very different voter who finds Hindu-Muslim politics in some form appealing, and there's a very different voter, presumably the poorer voters, who are looking at these welfare schemes. Am I correct?
Absolutely. And two different sections of issues appealing to two different sections of voters.
Salman shows you want to step in because the Congress seems to be caught, between how do you respond to Mr. Modi on Hindu-Muslim politics? How do you respond to Mr. Modi on ration politics?
No, Rajdeep, we're very clear. We're not, the only thing we do is we condemn the Prime Minister for his Hindu-Muslim kind of hate speeches. Other than that, we're totally focused on what matters to the people of the country. And what matters to the people of the country are things like unemployment, things like inflation. Those are the kinds of things. A future, whether you're a Hindu or Muslim, you need a job. You need food at your table. And by the way, it is important for all of us to remember that when we talk about welfare schemes, when we talk about what different governments have done for the people, we should not just forget what has happened in the past. And that is what Sanjeev Verma and people like her would want us to do. I'll just give you one example, if you allow me. She talked about housing construction under PMAY, which is the Awas Yojana, whether it was Indra Awas Yojana earlier. Let me just share with your viewers a very basic factual data from the government. That in NDA-1, Prime Minister Vajpayee's time, every year, 11.6 lakh houses were constructed in his term. Then came UPA-1, it went up to 17.4 lakh houses per year. Then came UPA-2, it went to 24.7 lakh homes per year. Then it was NDA-2, which is Prime Minister Modi's first term, it went to 27.8 lakh homes per year. Now the final tally for the second part of Prime Minister Modi will come, and that is even higher. That means this has gone up. Each government has been increasing the number of homes built. So this narrative that Sanjeev Verma or the Prime Minister or the BJP might want to convey that they have done things for the people, other Congress, they've not been able to implement anything, it's all bogus. That is why, Rajdeep. That is why. Please don't interrupt me. That is why,
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the anchor.
Just a minute, Sanjuji, put a voice down, yes.
When you talk to the anchor, when I'm speaking, when you talk to the anchor, you're interrupting me. So please learn some manners. Rajdeep, when you have traveled yourself, I know that Sanjay ji is keeping a very keen eye on this election. You know it, everybody knows it, that the BJP has lost ground. The reason they're doing Hindu-Muslim is because they're trying to solidify, they're trying to bring their base. The base Hindutva voter, that is what they're trying to do.
Okay.
But people in the country are fed up. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They want jobs.
There are different constituencies, as Sanjay Kumar says, and the BJP is appealing to different, but you're saying they're trying to shore up the base. Sanjeev Verma, you didn't answer this question. You see, the Prime Minister says yesterday, I don't do Muslim politics, and yet in rally after rally, there's always a creeping Hindu-Muslim angle that's brought in. You aren't willing to answer that central question. Why are you doing it? If you have got such a strong track record, why even get into it at all?
Rajdeep, if there is one thing I have in ample, it is speaking truth. It is having the audacity to call a spade a spade.
Right.
मुझे वो आदत नहीं है that speaking truth to power to Narendra Modi but not speaking truth to power to Arvind Kejriwal. I don't suffer from such a phobia of being selective. Now let me tell you one thing very clearly. And I repeat, I've said this on your show earlier, but your audience is the biggest stakeholder in this debate. I always say the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and I don't wish to be heckled. Actions speak louder than words. Is history going to judge Narendra Modi by only his words or also by his actions? I'm sure history will judge him for what he has done for the Muslims of this country. Forget about making instant triple talaq illegal and unconstitutional in 2019. I will tell you this, 31% of PM Awas Yojana goes to minorities, especially Muslims. 33% of Ayushman Bharat goes to minorities, especially Muslims. 34% of PM Kisan goes to minorities, especially Muslims. 36% of the funds of PM Ujjwala Yojana goes to minorities, especially Muslims. 37% of PM Mudra Yojana goes to minorities, especially Muslims. Another 37% of Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana goes to minorities, especially Muslims. So if you are going to sit here and tell me Narendra Modi is anti-Muslim, you need a reality check.
Strong.
Let me finish.
Okay, ma'am.
I will finish.
Always, you've had your time. He must respond.
No,
you made your point.
You gave me half the time. No, this is unfair. You gave Salman.
I will give you 30 seconds on the clock.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. 45 seconds on the clock. Be fair. You're a seasoned journalist. संजू वर्मा से आपको भला क्यों डर लगता है?
अरे मुझे बहुत डर लगता है. बताइए.
अरे भाई साहब, संजू वर्मा से डरिए.
बताइए
सच्चाई से डरिए.
बताइए.
अरे बता रही हूँ भाई साहब. अरे भाई साहब, heckle मत
quickly, 30 seconds. Nobody's heckling you. Please, this word heckling has to stop. Please go ahead.
Okay, now let me. Please, now start your 45 seconds from here. The biggest promise made by Rahul Gandhi to the electorate, which is that one. You've tweeted about it umpteen times. It is giving 1 lakh per year to women. Assuming he does not mean all women, because in some rallies he says Mahilaon ko, in some rallies he says Garib Mahilaon ko. What is the adult population of India, Rajdeep? I'm not being sarcastic. I'm genuinely asking you. Do you know what is the adult population of India out of 140 crore Indians? 94 crore people are adults. Assuming that 50% of these are women, which means 47% of these 50% means 47 crore women are, adults in India. Abhi 47% female, 47 crore female adults. I rephrase, 94 crore adults, 50% of these are women, which means 47 crore adult women. Now Salman Soos, tell me one thing. Assuming out of these 47 crore women, only 25% are poor. How much does that come to? 11.75 crore women, which means roughly 12 crore women. If you are going to give 1 lakh to these 12 crore women every single year, it means expenditure of 12 lakh crore. The annual budget of India, the outlay is 45 lakh crores. No, please.
No, ma'am. Your time is up now. Salman Soos, you want to tell us, she says your maths won't add up. Your welfare scheme maths won't add up. Quickly.
No. First, Rajdeep, Sanju Verma talked about a lot of stuff that is happening for the Muslims of the country. I can say that the BJP is giving 100% of the hate to minorities, especially Muslims. That is my
No. 1 minute. 1 minute. Wait. 1 minute. Sanju Verma, let me respond. He said, she says that when a house, the Pradhan Mantri also said, when a house is built, I don't discriminate whether it's given to a Hindu or Muslim. When Anna Yojana is given, I don't discriminate whether it's a Hindu or Muslim. Respond.
Wait a second. Rajdeep, the Prime Minister is nobody to discriminate against an Indian citizen based on religion. He's nobody. He's a nobody that way. He has no authority. Whatever Indian Muslim citizens get, that is by right as according to the Constitution. The Constitution. The Prime Minister cannot say, please do not interrupt me. I did not interrupt you. Do not interrupt me. Why are you interrupting me? I thought you had manners.
Sanju Verma's voice down.
She spoke so much.
Salman Soos, answer the question. If a house is given to him, are you also trying to play on Hindu-Muslim politics?
How?
Because if 1 minute. The fact is the Prime Minister says, I am giving it to all. You're saying he's discriminating.
No, wait a second, Rajdeep. What do you mean the Prime Minister is saying he's giving it to all? He has to give it to all citizens, no? Are Indian Muslims not citizens? Whatever they deserve under the Constitution, they'll get.
So he's saying he's giving it?
Nothing less. Sorry?
He's saying he's giving it.
No, but that is not the issue here, Rajdeep. The issue is not that whether there are schemes that are benefiting Muslims like they benefit Hindus. The issue is that the Prime Minister is telling the people of the country that भैंस तुम्हारी लेके मुसलमान को दे देंगे, मंगलसूत्र लेके मुसलमान को दे देंगे. That is the Hindu-Muslim politics that is destructive for this country.
Okay.
That is why, Rajdeep, that is why we are basically telling the country, if you want Hindu-Muslim, if you want these kinds of things, the BJP is right there. But if you want jobs, if you want women to have 1 lakh, by the way, it is not all women. It is 1 woman per family in a poor household. Sanju Verma should do some research and background reading before she comes on your shows. Now,
you made your point, Salman. I have run out of time.
Just one more thing. Just 10 seconds. You gave Sanju so much time. Just one more thing. When we increase the minimum wages of Manrega workers, that's for women and men, everybody's going to benefit. When we say that workers are going to be supported, when we say that MSP is going to be a guarantee, who are the farmers in this country? Not just men. Women are also farmers in this country. They will have an MSP guarantee.
Okay.
That is not
Salman Soos, you made your point. So has Sanju Verma. I will give the final word to the expert on my show. And I want, 1 minute. Ritika Khera, I want to ask you this very clearly. What is the better way forward according to you? Providing free food or perhaps providing a minimum income program for those at the bottom of the pyramid? Whether Congress or BJP, what should they be doing for the future?
Right. So I'm much more in favor of in-kind transfers, and you can see why that is because of what we saw during the lockdown. It was really the PDS that came to the rescue. And so I would say that if someone asked me, I would favor in-kind transfers through the PDS rather than cash transfers such as the one that the BJP and Congress are promising. BJP through the PM Kisan Yojana, and Congress has that 1 lakh rupee promise for women, for poor women. So I'm in favor of in-kind transfers because they protect people against corruption and they provide a minimum level of security that at least we won't have to sleep hungry. Obviously, if you can give more nutritious food, that's more welcome.
Well, let me leave it there. I appreciate my guests joining us. Sanjay Kumar, I appreciate that I couldn't come to you often enough, but that happens at times when politicians debate strongly with each other.